Hello.
Hello, everybody. So we have a new retrospective, I see.
Yeah,
It's the other cornerstone show that defined our childhood.
yeah, well, I haven't really hid how I feel about TMNT, but for those of you that do not know, besides Batman and Spider-Man, I grew up and Liam grew up with, TMNT. Liam, would you say that 2003 or 2012 was the more predominant TMNT for you?
I was around when 2012 was being released and made. Like, when everything was being released. But honestly, I watched 2003 a lot more. So, because we had the DVDs back then for season 1 and season 4, so there was a huge disconnect between the two seasons.
Yes, and, after our 2-year project of the animated Batman retrospective.
Well, that was that whole thing was fun. But this one is just a pure us glazing a show that we both love for season 1 at least we're gonna be purely glazing this show.
I have memories of season 2, and I don't really know what exactly is gonna happen, but I digress. We are talking about season 1 of TMNT 2003, where it all started.
We might just combine seasons later on once it gets a bit too much, but
it's possible.
But anyway, so this was basically it's actually really funny how this whole I guess the big differences between talking about this show and the animated series, just the origin is a lot weirder because the animated series was more or less based but I think the animated series was kind of just based off, based off I would say the Batman '89 and Batman Returns films, in a sense, or
correct, but
trying to catch on popularity.
Also, there was some comic mix,
Mm-hmm.
whereas 2003 TMNT was literally ripped straight out of the comics. I'm gonna put some panels in here,
Mm-hmm.
but it was literally stripped right from the comics.
I also feel it has influence from the '90s movie as well, taking taking some elements of the movies and putting it into I would say mainly doing that for just how the characters sound and they act. That's how I mainly feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I feel a lot of it comes from the comics, and the thing is, this the thing is that this was people say oh, Batman animated series one of the best comic adaptations, but not really. I mean, okay, it was at the same time, but also not really. This feels like the most comic to show, albeit more kid-friendly and a lot less murder than usual. Actually, I want to talk about the whole kid-friendly thing, because here's the thing I thought about while I was in the shower today. So this show was made on 4Kids. 4Kids was known for censoring anime and stuff like that for the sake of making it appeal to a wider audience, aka children.
Uh-huh.
We all know the whole Yu-Gi-Oh debate about Shadowrun and everything like that. And I find it funny how TMNT got kind of skirted that board because they were allowed to have saw blades, they were allowed to have lasers, characters. I mean, maybe not characters dying, but characters were implied to be dead.
Yeah,
many a times. So I find it kind of interesting how 4Kids gave TMNT the ultimate you can do whatever heck you want. Meanwhile, Yu-Gi-Oh and Sonic X couldn't do certain things or have certain scenes.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess to be fair, there was a lot less boobs on this show.
Man, imagine if they had gone with the woman turtle and made her the 5th one.
That's well, I mean, that's what the IDW comics did.
I know.
But anyway, to be fair, this was was this an Eastman?
This is Laird and Eastman, yeah.
Yeah, Laird and Eastman. This was basically just a giant
Was this their reunion or was this before their breakup?
Only one of them worked on the show, I believe. I think we should maybe just get into the show itself. Because, the thing is, this show starts off so strongly, because, it literally takes the first panel from you could play, you play the episode and play the comic and show the comic panel. Yeah. It literally takes, elements from the comics right there, and it's oh, man, this is cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
the first 3 episodes basically just, a mini origin / how everything set everything up with the Turtles facing off against the Mousers and everything.
Yeah, and
Ambassador Stockman setting up Shredder for later on. Dude, I'm saving that, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 episodes are very much,
set
up for what's coming for the rest of the show, and in some cases, even, the rest of the series, kind of, sort of. Also,
it sets up the foot, it sets up Baxter Stockman, sets up April and her relationship with Turtles. Shows a little bit of the backstory of how they came to be.
We get to meet, obviously we get to meet the Turtles, we get to meet Splinter. The only main character that we don't meet in the first 3 episodes is Casey.
And then he shows up episode 4. Like,
Right.
they get everything set up right away. And we meet Casey by the way. Like, I'm not sure if it's like a hot like take, but this is the best. But this is like probably the best Casey beyond like.
Listen, there are people that love 2012 Casey, and like personally, this is my Casey, but also because this was my era, so I'm a little biased, but I will not hear anybody here say that Stephen Amell was a good Casey Jones.
Like this, like the Casey from 2003 is just like he's an ultimate meathead, a complete idiot, but at the same time, like he's lovable.
Yeah, like,
and the thing, it's a good amount of Casey in the show. He's not overly used, but he has a good amount of screen time.
Yeah, and
I guess we could talk about like the Turtles themselves and all stuff like that.
Well, I was kind of making a point.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The thing that I noticed right off of the bat too is for 2003 the fight scenes are really good too. I didn't notice like they cheaped out on the first episode when they fight the purple dragons. It's just like a whole bunch of flashing them using their weapons, and it's like, how'd you use those weapons without cutting them up, Leo? Yeah.
But then, like, when they fight the foot for the first time, and, like the fight scenes on the show are so good, because, like...
I love when Splinter is, like, soloing the foot on his own.
It's like, whenever Splinter is just, like, involved in a fight, it's like, he's, like, kicking so much ass. It's so cool.
Okay, so... what do you think about the Turtles themselves? Because I've seen people say that their one gripe with this series is that 2012 did the overall brothers dynamic and the Turtles better than 2003 did.
That's my hot take. Okay, here's my thing about this show. So this show has like a couple episode types. A lot of them, okay, I would say there's 3 episode types, I would say. There's, well, yeah, 3. There's the overall importance of the plot episodes, which like are most like momentum forward episodes, which have a lot of stuff going on, usually involving all 4 turtles going on a mission or adventure. Mm-hmm. There's the more like random side adventure one where it's like oh, there's this robot, machine robot that's causing havoc. Gotta stop it. Oh, there's this guy who keeps taking homeless people, who's voiced by Mike Pollock. That's like honestly my favorite part about the show is that I get to figure out where Mike Pollock is in each of the episodes. He's always somewhere.
Should I insert precisely?
Go ahead. He's always somewhere in the episodes, and like you can also tell like when they get the Turtles voice actors for a random grunt or like random like jobber. You can tell it's like one of them. You just gotta figure out which one.
Yeah, but
and then there's like the turtle individual episodes, which are about like one turtle going for an adventure of some kind. Like it could be Michelangelo team up with superhero, which I find really cool. Like how there's like fully established world.
I love how the individual episodes, Raph's always like protecting someone.
Or it could be Donnie teaming up with the king, like Jack Kirby.
The literal comic god. Jack Kirby.
And like a funny like homage of like classic comics.
And then there's Leo's adventures.
I love Leo's one where like it's literally just like him going through the ringer against like every single part.
Wait. Everyone else is doing some like fun shit, and then he's just fighting the foot all on his own.
Like it's just like the fucking gauntlet. It's so funny. It's so good. I love it. Like he's badass as heck in that episode.
You know, that episode made me appreciate Leo because, kind of a hot take, at least in this show, I'm not really the biggest fan of Leonardo.
Honestly, here's the thing about Leo. Okay, I guess we'll get to talk about the Turtles themselves. Leo is probably the one who's like the most like Raph is they say Raph's the angry one, but honestly, Leo is more angry.
Are we talking just in like this show?
Just in this show,
yeah.
Because Raph overall in this show, he's like the hothead, but he's like gets mad over like small things, and like but like most of the time he's like
He's actually kind of chill most of the time.
He's actually chill most of the time. He like makes like light comics most of the time, mostly at the expense of Mikey. Meanwhile, Leo's the one who like has like resentment, like anger building up over time, like this entire arc later on. I know that for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he's the one who's actually kind of like ticked off a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And then yeah. And then this like version of Mikey's just like the most chill Mikey ever.
Yeah. I think.
And then Donnie exists. He's the Amazing Spider-Man in the PS3 games.
I don't understand how. Here's my problem, Liam, and tell me if you agree. Donnie just exists no matter what show that he is in. Like he's kind of. There's a problem with Donatello.
He's the one who explains everything.
Where they try to make him interesting, but he's just the one that helps to move the plot along a lot of the time.
He gets himself out of jams. He thinks of the fun solutions. He thinks of the ways. I do kind of like the rapport he has with April in the show.
That's true.
The pure friendship of them.
Yeah, like, where he's not trying to sleep with her.
We're like, yeah, and like April's voiced by Ash Ketchum in the show.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
I love how I could just say that and it's like completely true. Look it up. And like, I like how like that's how they present April in the show, just being like sciencey, but also just like the nice like big sister of sorts to the Turtles.
Yeah.
And like the Turtles individually, they're kind of like there as characters. Now this is not the most well defined versions of them. And I think when they're paired up with like one or the other, I think that's like fun. That's like the fun stuff. But I do think, as a whole group and unit, they kind of falter because they're just kind of like it's their core traits and that's it. Whereas I feel like 2012, Rise of TMNT, and Tales of TMNT focus more on their characterizations as like a whole unit together,
as a family.
These ones feel more like college, like
they're college roommates.
College roommates / friends who are like, they're very good best friends, but they don't really feel like family. I think IDW Comics do like the best job of that, in my opinion.
Well, because they literally were a family, right?
Well, like a family.
Yeah. Also, I will say this show has the best version of Master Splinter.
Yeah.
And I think that he is done a. I mean, the one from the 80s is also cool too, but like
they both pretty neat too.
2012's though, the thing that makes. Do you like when Splinter was Hamato Yoshi?
I always kind of like was always on the fence of like I don't really like that's what I was saying. This feels like it takes more from like the movie because in the movie it's the rat that got mutated to become a martial master.
Yes.
Versus Martial Master himself became a rat.
Right.
I think both sides are perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I do kind of think there's a degree of more like personal vengeance when it comes to Shredder when it actually is Hamato Yoshi. But also, his master, Hamato Yoshi, that also works too.
Yeah.
But then there's, I guess, we're saving him for later, but do you have anything you want to say?
Well, I just have to say, as a kid, I thought Hun was kind of lame, but him being the, like, big bad for, like, the first arc of the show is kind of cool.
Actually, that's one thing I want to talk about before we get to him in this show, is the momentum. Like, yeah, the characters themselves really don't, like, have a ton of, like, nuance, I would say. They're just kind of like Mikey's always gonna make a funny joke, Donnie's always gonna think a solution, Rap's always gonna get himself, always gonna go guns blazing, Neo's always gonna be the coolest in terms of actual fight scenes.
Yeah.
Character-wise, he's kind of like a stick, but in terms of fight scenes, he's the coolest easily.
Yeah.
But like the thing I like is that like over the course of the show, they get better. Like even this first season, you see them improving. Because like the first episode, they can barely handle the foot. They're like on the back end. And then later on, they're able to handle like a whole like army of foot with no problem. Leo takes on the whole army of foot on his own, and like he's holding out and doing a good job on his own.
Yeah.
And like they scale Shredder's tower really easily. And like and also a good example is Hun, where like at the very start of the show, like episode 8, where they first like fully fight Han, and they're on like the back end. They can't really handle him. They have to use the advantage. They have to use like the ring that they're in to take him out. And then later on, they take him on more and more, and they're just able to take him out with no problem. Like no problem. Like able to. Also,
don't they have a hard time fighting Shredder's elite guard?
And then Leo fights them, loses, breaks his arm.
Yeah.
And his swords.
And then
they fight them together and they win. Yeah. And then season 2, but we'll get to that. But like. the thing I like about this show is that there's actual growth. That it feels like they're getting stronger and stronger each.
Hold on. Why the fuck does Shredder need an Elite Guard?
We'll get to that. I mean, Elite Guard are cool as heck in the show too.
They are, but
I mean, the music in this show in general is like really good.
Music, dude. The foot theme.
Da-na-na-na-na.
I don't know if I would get hit with copyright, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna just throw it in here anyway. No, but in all seriousness though, so Hun mixed with Baxter Stockman being the first villains of the first arc of the show. The show at this point it has momentum, but it's about to go from like being like just like a really, really good show to being fucking insanely crazy in terms of scale. Because Liam, what episode is Oroku Saki introduced?
Episode 1.
Okay.
But we don't really know who's Shredder.
When does he meet Leonardo?
That is the Shredder Strikes. The Shredder Strikes Part 1, which is episode 10.
Okay.
And that's when we finally see him in full. And like how he presents himself. Like first he's like, Leonardo, like he tries to like make peace with Leonardo. He's like, you and I, we can work together against a great evil and that's the thing, because like Shredder is trying to fight against what he calls a great evil, which we find out later on. We'll get to that.
Do you think he was fucking with Leonardo?
He was trying to like convince him, hey, there's this great evil out there. We can work together.
Do you think he saw that Leonardo could actually beat him?
And then Leonardo, of course, over time, find out who's Shredder, and then they're like, hell no, we're not doing that.
Right.
And then we finally see him.
Dude.
Holy crap.
They were not fucking around, bro. When he's in the rain and his eyes are glowing, if you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Okay, people can make the argument that 2012 and Rise of TMNT and one of her Tails that gets their Shredder.
He hasn't, so...
And like 80 Shredder.
So, for Tails, he's been teased, but he hasn't actually...
That Shredder looks cool as hell, though.
Yes.
I will say.
Yeah.
That being said, until that Shredder comes around, this is the coolest version of Shredder, bar none.
It still might just be the coolest
design, the design, the voice. He sounds so freaking cool. How he fights, he's I get he's super armored and as we find out later on, I won't want to get into it just yet. As we find out later on, he's not really doing all the fighting himself. But come on, man, he's cool as hell. Look at him,
dude. When they are doing the all-out assault on April's shop, he walks through fucking fire, man.
He's just so cool. He's like a villain that I love so much because he is Aura Farming incarnate.
We see it later when they're looking for Master Splinter. And Leah pointed it out. It was Aura Farming.
Are we actually recording or is it?
Yes.
Okay, I just making sure.
He's Aura Farming.
Yeah. But that's like
we're gonna put the picture of the puppet in here. His puppet was Aura Farming. Which is what bothers the hell out of me later. When later in the series, Karai becomes the Shredder. That bothers the hell out of me.
That's season 4. That's way later.
I know. But I'm saying, Oroku Saki, say what y'all want about... Because there's TMNT fans who are like, yeah, okay, he's not the accurate Shredder. But listen, is Karai really that much better? No, she's not, sorry.
Well, okay, we can talk about that when we get to those seasons. But I do think another aspect of the show is that there is always a sense of progression with the show, like I was saying. And also the world building is so freaking good. Like for a Saturday morning cartoon, I guess it would come out Saturday morning, I'm not sure. There is so much world building.
Whenever I used to watch the show, it was on Saturday morning.
There's so much lore and world building in the show, it's insane. There's already Shredder is there's the whole Notes from the Underground section, which because early on they find a new base for themselves to live in, and they're oh, this base has crystals, and these crystals they go deeper in the ground. They find this foot base, and it's oh, this foot base was trying to find was trying to find something underground, and
Yep.
they did find something. Turns out that wasn't what they were looking for, which like already sets up. Okay, Shredder's looking for something, but what was he looking for?
Right.
Which we get to later on. But also, there's just another freaking civilization underground who's been living here for centuries, and we never and it turns out they found this place by using monsters that were mutated, and like there's this whole crazy thing. Granted, the Notes from Underground section is like arguably the weakest of the multi-parters.
I still found it interesting though.
Like it sets up so much later on.
Also,
And then there's the whole Shredder Strikes Back arc.
Isn't it nice though that like a show can have build up and then also have payoff?
Like everything in this show gets payoff. Like even the random one-off episodes, literally say for example the random episode where they fight against the guy who collects homeless people, the garbage man. That explains how to get all their gear and equipment. They go to homeless people. They get it from there. Or even I guess later on we'll see, but even the nanomachine robot gets some stuff later on, more episodes.
Yep.
Or I'm trying to just think, or really the only episode we consider full-on filler, I would say, is Tales of Leo. But even then, that explains how they got out of the situation they were in. The Shredder Strikes Back.
So
every episode has a purpose.
So here's my question: out of the multi-parters that involved the Shredder, which is your favorite?
Return to New York. Yeah, that entire sequence is so cool. That is legitimately some of my favorite TV show episodes in general, just because of how freaking awesome it is. It's just a big.
They're fighting to get through the Shredder's tower, bro. It's crazy.
And then it goes. It's like a progression. They go from fighting regular foot to fighting tech guards in in an armory to go ahead and fighting mutant clone shredders from Notes from the Underground. But that's built up over time to fighting elemental masters who are we don't even know what the heck they're even doing there until later on, to fighting the Elite Guard and Hun together, to fighting Shredder, and Shredder later on, to fighting Bastard Stompman in a big robot suit, because of course, and then fighting Shredder and kicking his ass. It's so good.
And then
the progression is so cool.
And then at the end of the episode, they blow up the foot tower, and Shredder gets his head cut off. And then he picks up his head and walks into the fire,
which gets explained later on.
And but I'm saying in terms of visuals,
it's so cool.
That's fucking rad.
And then I like how before you do Search for Splinter, there's an episode about Raph being mad, and we also find out that the mob, the regular ass mob, they were they were on the low end because of Shredder, but now with Shredder gone, they're gonna start rising up, which leads into season 2.
Yup.
Which I find really cool. And then the finale of the show, of season 1, the Search for Splinter.
Yup, and that's when we get to meet the Utrons.
Which is more based off the comics, I believe, versus the 80s cartoon.
Also, Liam, really fast, Utrom or Krang? Which is your preference?
Utrom. I kind of like how, and it's it's a new threat. It's I love how we go from regular thugs and ninja to elemental masters to monsters to full-on aliens.
And I mean, here's the thing. I think that what TMNT 2003 does that a lot of superhero, because I consider this to be a superhero show, what a lot of superhero media in general, they always go back to the classics. Here's the thing, and I'm saying this as someone who loves the characters, but it's when it comes to the comics, it's always Batman and Joker. It's always Spider-Man and Green Goblin. Whereas what I'll say is the Turtles are never, when it comes to their media, they're never afraid to shake it up. Yes, Shredder's their overall villain, but they also have other people that they will square up with. As we'll see in this show, there's a whole bunch of stuff that the Turtles do.
Just so much
that does not revolve necessarily around Shredder, but I don't know.
Here's the thing: Nuts Underground has elements of Shredder in there, in the foot, but also has a completely new villain and monsters and stuff like that. And it's there's a whole bunch of just random stuff. It's not just it feels like a full-on lived-in universe that has all these random comic elements. There's just a full-on superhero universe with Silver Sentry and his own villains, and it's he takes care of that kind of stuff. Oh, hello. And he takes care of that kind of stuff. Do you want to pause?
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back. Yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about?
We
Like,
were
like the world building.
we were talking about the world building, yeah.
Like, I feel like it's not like that big, but it's like it just gives you so much more to it than just like I don't know. Like it doesn't feel like TMNT is the only thing happening in this universe. And believe me, we'll get to not just happening in this universe later on. But like even in the season 1, there's just superheroes. There's like random mystic bullcrap happening. And like it's not like granted, like I'm not saying it's like the best stuff ever, but it gives variety to the show. Like granted, the best stuff happens with Shredder, duh.
Yeah.
Like the best episodes are Return to New York, Part 1, Part 3.
I mean,
hot take. Like lukewarm take probably.
I mean, the thing is that despite the fact that like the Shredder's obviously the best part,
you need variety.
So I would not like this show, I think, as much if it was constantly Shredder 24/7. Now, the first season revolves heavily around Shredder and stuff involving Shredder, but he's not in every episode. As a matter of fact, he's only technically, if you want to be technical, he's in 3 episodes. Or like 4.
Well, like full on like armored voice, Shredder voice. He's like only in, let's see, he's in 1, 2, 3, 4,
What, 5?
5. Like 5 episodes, that's it.
5 out of what?
5, like full on armored Shredder is in 5 episodes.
5 out of
and he only
how many in the first season?
26.
See?
So he only fights in like 4 of them.
Right. So what I'm saying is that using your main villain sparingly, at least to me, makes your main villain much more effective. But that also proves that you have a strong sense of story when you don't need your main villain to be in every when you don't need your main villain to be in every episode. Something that we talked about when we did the Batman 2004 show retrospective was like, I think it was season 3 of that show, where there was literally like 10 episodes in a row
of just Joker.
Of literally just Joker. Yes.
And it was tiring because we don't want to see Joker 24/7.
See,
I like that version of Joker, but we don't need to see him all the time.
See, main superhero villains are effective when they're used sparingly. Imagine if Spider-Man always fought against the Green Goblin. That would be boring. Sometimes he has to fight against a tarantula, or sometimes he has to fight against a boomerang,
or Torment.
Thank you, Torment. Point is that
TMNT.
The Turtles, if they always fought Shredder, it would be boring.
And I mean, like, also on the same token, why do you think they also have all these random extra characters showing up for toy marketing?
Of course, Liam was literally like,
"Now that's an action figure."
Yeah.
Well, that's from Godzilla Mendoza, so there's the quote. It's like whenever there's like something that comes up and it's like obviously an action figure, I'm like, "Now that's an action figure. Now that's an action figure. Now that's an action figure." Like Baxter Stockman showing up in a giant robot suit. Now that's an action figure.
9 times out of 10, he was actually right too.
There was action figure. That's why.
I had most of those toys.
Random. Look at this. You have the TMNT shell mobile, and then inside there's a bike for rap. Now that's an action figure.
Which it literally was.
There you go.
So.
Oh, you're telling me they made a driller like in episode 2, apparently out of scraps? Now that's an action figure.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think personally that season 1, like,
but it does a good job contextualizing everything, to be fair. Like, it's
yes.
never out of nowhere. Okay, beyond like episode 2.
What would you give? Like, now do you know how for the Batman retrospectives we gave them like a number? Do you want to still do that, or do you want to give it a letter?
I'll give it a. Well, if I got to give it a number, I would say it's like. That's a tough one.
Are we also grading it on a 1 to 5 or 1 to 10?
On a 10 scale, I would give it like a 9. Like, maybe it's us glazing it too much, maybe just me glazing it too much, but legitimately speaking, I would say if you ever wanted to see like primo TMNT, go ahead and watch this show. Either this or like 2012 is okay. But I would say season 1 overall is like some of the most consistent and best TMNT stuff, and then later on we get some more crazier stuff. But we get such a grounded opening that I think it works. Now, I can go ahead and talk before I want to go on a rant about something.
I give it. I think I'm with you. I think I gave it like a 9. Alright. Go on your rant.
Alright, can I just say this? So, currently speaking right now, the only 2 common ways of watching TMNT 2003 are either you buy the complete collection that's available for like $70.
That's what we have.
That's what we have, and that's how we watched it, and we'll get to that. Or you have to get a Paramount Plus subscription, which you can get in a variety of ways, and if you really, really want to watch it, that's the only way.
We also have Paramount Plus. Problem is, it doesn't work.
Yeah, we have Paramount Plus via Walmart. But anyway, there you go. You can tell where we're from if we said Walmart.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I just go on this big rant because, oh my gosh. So firstly, Paramount Plus. It doesn't work. I've tried multiple times. First thing I tried was like trying to like directly stream it, and it didn't work for like time and time. It just didn't work. And it was so ridiculous because that's like the best way of watching it because that's the best quality. Yes, there's ads up the wazoo, but that's the best way of watching it. And the fact that I couldn't watch it on there was so infuriating because I want to watch it on the I want to watch it nice and clean.
Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't do it, which was like really annoying. So I figured, okay, we have the entire collection. Watch it on there. You can watch every episode, no ads, which is really nice. But you know what it is? Every episode's $2.44p. Like, it's legitimately some of the most like obscured and most like cheapest way to watch the show. Like, you can watch it, but like, dear God, it's like it's so cheaply made. And I mean, and like, why? Because these are like the full collections. These are like the ways. This is like. My thing is that should be the end-all, be-all way to watch TMNT 2003 if you want to get your hands on it. So the fact that it's so cheaply made and the fact that the only other way of watching it is getting it on Paramount Plus is the most ridiculous thing for me. Why Paramount or anyone who owns it re-release it somewhere for like a nice, like, I would buy a Blu-ray collection that's like $100 if it's every episode in like nice full-on quality.
May I also say something too?
Go ahead.
I hear all of these I won't call them grifters, people on this platform that you are watching this on right now say, hey, it's a good thing that, you know, Warner Brothers is being bought by Paramount. Nothing works on Paramount. Nothing works on Paramount.
Yeah, legitimately, the whole thing is freaking broken.
Yeah, you can't watch SpongeBob on Paramount. Mm-hmm. If we want to watch SpongeBob, we gotta go to Amazon.
Yeah, but that's I mean, that like, I mean, I don't really mind it on there because like they like have it like squished in, but that's like to fit the original design of it. I don't know, but like for me at least, if you're gonna watch a show, the best way of watching it, I would say, I mean, there are other ways. But I would say the best way to get your hands on it is probably, if it's not like super expensive, try to get your hands on the old DVDs that they used to release. Because they released every episode on DVDs.
The ones that we used to have as kids, I think were actually full screen.
They're in great quality as well as like have like really cool interactive menus and stuff like that. Like, it's really cool. They have like the main theme blaring. It's like,
whereas like the ones that we have for like the Mega Collection is just not fun.
It's just so bland and boring. Like the Batman animated series has the same problem where it's just the collection spaced out with like 8 episodes and that's it. There you go.
Right, but like the thing is though, we have it though. Like, it's
fucking Blue's baby brother has more effort put into it. Why? Caillou's Holiday Movie has more effort put into it when it comes to its menu. Like, I'm not saying you need that kind of stuff, but it was just like such a nice little thing to have back then.
Yeah.
All I'm just saying is that, currently speaking right now, watching TMNT since 2003 is a freaking nightmare and a half because there's no good way of watching it. Like, that's kind of the problem with all TMNT stuff is that because everything's on Paramount, you can't watch it for shit.
Yeah, so if you guys ever want us to review anything else, we're gonna have to probably buy it all.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, listen, I don't mind doing, but like,
maybe hopefully it won't be a 2244p to watch it.
Is there a Mega Collection for
yes,
TMNT?
They released Mega
for 2012.
They released Mega Collections for every single TMNT, I believe.
God damn it!
Yay! We'll have to. I mean, if this does well enough, we'll watch them all, I guess.
I guess. But then we might have to backtrack though after this, because I kind of don't want to piss off the 2012 fans by.
Okay, good show. Don't get me wrong. 2012 was a good show. It's just 2003 is our like glazed golden boy, so we're gonna love that show a lot more.
Not when we get to fast forward, but yes.
Maybe fast forward would be good. Who knows?
You know what?
I mean, Chris Ford likes there, but like.
Here's the thing, really quickly. I hated fast forward as a kid because it was different from what I was used to.
Who knows? Maybe it'll be good.
But I have not watched fast forward in like legitimately 17 years. So
like in full.
Yes. So it's been a hot minute, and I watched the first 2 episodes of Back at the Sewer, and I just didn't care.
Oh man, when we get to those episodes.
My last piece of this TMNT media that I've seen is Turtles, Forever, which we are gonna watch.
Yeah, we're gonna watch every last bit of this show. Every last little bit of the show will be covered and reviewed. An extension, maybe not the games, but like if you want, there's Jay's reviews if you want to see about the games and all that stuff like that.
Are we also gonna do a tier list too?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And there's our Sweetie cameo.
Can you guys hear Sweetie?
There's our Sweetie cameo.
But yeah, so overall, season 1, banner. And if I remember anything from season 2, we're not in for a bad ride. We're just in for a weird ride.
We're gonna be going to one place where capitalism can't touch space.
And until next time, we